Does your 2008 Buick Enclave not want to start or stays running after you shut it off for 20 seconds or so? Okay, I'm going to shut it off and it stays running. Also, the check engine light stays partially illuminated. I don't know if you can see that. So in the event that it won't start at all and you turn the key and it does nothing and you boosted it and you've done everything you can, put a new battery in, whatever, and it still doesn't want to go, what I did was I took this top plug here, this is the engine control module, and I just unplugged it like that. Push that open. A little bit tricky. Unplug it like that and then plug it back in, and that somehow resets a relay or a transistor in the ECU, and then after I did that, it started just fine. And then after that, I started trying to diagnose why the thing wouldn't shut off for like 5 to 10 seconds after I shut the engine off with the key. So the cause of your problems is there is some water vents that go along these A-pillars that go from the sunroof, and then they go into the firewall there, and when they get plugged up, and I've already cleaned them, when they get plugged up, they leak water and they back up, and then this whole carpet here gets wet. And what happens is the water runs down onto that fuse block right behind the glove box there. And I've already been in there and had a look at it, and I've got some Mr. Green happening, or green corrosion happening on my electrical connectors and a couple of relays. So what I'm going to have to do is remove that fuse box and clean it or replace it. Okay, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to unplug these connectors here. So there's a connector right there, and then there's two more right here. I don't know if you can see them. I can't quite get the camera in there. So there's two connectors there. You got to unplug those two and that one at the back. So 3 connectors total, and then you got to remove the fuse box. Now on the bottom side, there's another connector right there on the bottom of that fuse box. I believe that's a 10 mil bolt. Let's get the light in the right place. And the other thing is you've got a screw right up in there, and then there's a screw at the back. And it looks like they're probably 7 mil or 8 mil. There's one at the back, you can see it there. And then the other one is, try and get the camera in here so you can see. Where are you? Oh yeah, right there. It's right there. That's where the other one is. So that one there, and that one at the back there, and that fuse panel should come out. So I got that fuse panel out, and you can see Mr. Green happening in there. That's the cause of our problems. Also, it's dripping water. You can see that, hey? So, poor design by GM. So we're going to take this thing apart and clean it. You're going to have to take this thing apart, and I already took it apart, so I just set that on there to show you what it looks like. You have to fight with all these little tabs on here, and you got to use several screwdrivers and get it to come off perfectly straight. But anyway, I wanted to show you this. Here's the source of our problem, all that corrosion there, and there was water in here, so probably water is jumping between contacts and causing all sorts of issues, along with all that corrosion we've got going on there. So I'm going to try to clean that up the best I can. So what you want to do is probably take a picture of this before you disassemble it, so you remember where all the relays are supposed to go. I took a picture of this side, and I'm going to pull all those fuses out, pull this panel off too, and I'm going to clean the other side of it as well. Okay, so here's the other side with all the fuses out, and you can see all the corrosion happening. That's probably why they recommend you just replace this thing, because cleaning that corrosion is going to be a nightmare, and you probably have corroded wires in there. But I'm going to clean this up best I can, and if it's a problem in the future, buy a new fuse panel. I'm going to do the best I can, but it's probably going to be a problem. Okay, I've got these special pin cleaners here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up and down on this like that, on all of these pins that have a little bit of green corrosion on them. And I'm going to clean them up the best I can so they make contact. And as for the green that's going to happen in the wires, there's not much you can do about that other than replace this fuse panel. So I'm just going to do this and clean them up, and I'm going to dry this thing out. It was soaked with water, and then put it back together, and it should run just fine. Okay, so I got all the terminal pins cleaned up on that thing, and I've now applied a liberal amount of dielectric grease to this thing to try to help mitigate any water that might intrude here if it happens again. More dielectric grease and assemble the other side. So now you're going to have to clean these connectors. You can see all the green happening there, that corrosion. And what I've got is I've got some special pin cleaners here, and I'm going to just take these and I'm going to run them in and out of each pin, and I'm going to try and scrub as much corrosion off as I can. Then I'm going to put compressed air through it like I did on this one and try and blow off most of that green the best I can. And then I'm going to apply dielectric grease and I'm going to put it back together. Okay, fuse panel is back in. Now I've got dielectric grease on my plugs and I'm going to plug them back in, and we're going to start this thing up and see how it runs. Alright, let's give this a go. Starts up fine. Let's see if it stays running when we shut it off. Nope, shuts off right away. Okay, so that was our problem. Problem solved. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.